We got yet another trade in the NBA. Let's talk about it. All right, Norm Powell from the Clippers is going to Miami. John Collins from the Jazz is going to the Clippers. Then this is basically just a salary dump from the Utah Jazz. They get back Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a second-round pick from the Clippers. My first thought here was that Bradley Beal is probably not going to Miami since they picked up Norm Powell. They're very similar positionally. They're very similar in skill set. Honestly, Norm Powell was better than Bradley Beal last year, so I would be pretty surprised if after he gets bought out by the Phoenix Suns, that Bradley Beal goes to the Miami Heat. I do think this makes it more likely that he might go to the Clippers, though. John Collins makes more sense positionally with the Clippers. They need a four. They need someone who will catch lobs from James Harden. He also just is coming off one of his best three-point shooting seasons after having a few down shooting seasons. I really, really like the fit offensively for the Clippers. If they get Bradley Beal on a buyout, which I think might end up happening here, even though I think he should go to Milwaukee, that offense is going to be great. The defense is really going to struggle to stop anyone. There's going to be a ton of pressure on Zubac to, kind of uphold everything on that end. But they still do have Derek Jones, Kawhi when he locks in defensively. They have some guys on the wing that can at least slow down other teams. But, between Beal and Harden and Collins, you do have some defensive liabilities that you're going to need covering up for. Having said that, it's a talent play. I love it for the Clippers. I think it's a really smart move. I thought that Collins had a nice bounce back season last year and will be a really good fit with Harden, like I said. Powell was awesome last year, and he's a little bit redundant with Tyler Hero. Spo always usually figures out how to get the best out of these guys who can, dribble and shoot. Norm is pretty much purely a scorer. He's a huge defensive liability, but he's such a talented three-level scorer, and he can get to the line that I think that Spo will be able to figure out how to use him. I don't think he'll ever have a season quite as good as he just had with the Clippers. I mean, he could have won Most Improved Player. He was very clearly like a sub-all-star this year. He was scoring at an insane efficiency. He was playing great off of Harden and then Kawhi when he played. He really learned how to play off those guys' gravity, and I think that he was a huge secondary scorer for the Clippers. I wouldn't expect that to translate, but solid get for Miami. And then the Jazz just continue to suck. I'm sorry. This front office is the most overrated front office I've ever seen. Now, look, John Collins was a flyer in the first place. They took on his contract for basically nothing, but they love to just wait until guys have no trade value and then trade them away. They did it with Colin Sexton. They do it with John Collins. I don't think they're good at drafting. I don't think they do anything in free agency. I don't get why they just get a pass by the media. I've talked about this before. I have a video on my page about it. I just think that they clearly have no idea what they're doing. I would imagine they buy out Kevin Love. Maybe they keep Kyle Anderson and have him play on the wing a little bit for them, but he's pretty washed at this point. So overall, love it for the Clippers, like it for the Heat, don't get it for the Jazz.